Childhood is a simple time, and somehow, even though one of us had different experiences and grew up in different times, there's a feeling and innocence to being a kid that we can all faintly remember. Tom Stoppard once said, if you carry your childhood with you, you never become older. And well, isn't that young living? And the best link to your childhood are the people that were there with you. So the best people to keep you young are your siblings.
Hello, and welcome to the Young Living podcast, aka The Wild Drop.
What are you doing?
I'm your host.
No, you're not.
Joseph Young.
I'm the host, Jacob Young. Welcome to the YL Drop.
My bad. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. Anyway, yes. Can I read the next part, please?
Sure.
Want to get the handle of being you for a second. Young Living is the world leader in producing and distributing premium essential oils. This podcast will provide you with drops of information about Young Living, including stories, history, products, lots of fun little facts, and more. Yeah. Was that pretty good?
Okay, yeah, that was pretty good.
I thought it was great.
Oh, it was great.
Thanks. Yeah.
And for those of you that can't already see the family resemblance, this is my younger brother, Mr. Joseph Young. Welcome to the show. How are you?
I am great, and thank you. Yes, I'm very glad to be on the show. And as you can tell, I'm his brother because he's attractive. I'm attractive as well. Ooh, we get a lot of ladies, but he's married now. So anyway, yeah, it's good to be on the show. I'm very happy to be on the show. So, yeah.
And today we're literally turning the tables. We're flipping the tables. For those of you who can kind of see that there's a difference, Joseph is actually going to be the host today.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be the one being interviewed, which is weird.
No, it's great because, I'm going to be talking about you, and the audience is going to get to know about our favorite host, Jacob Young. Anyway, so we should dive in the past and do all of the memories, the great memories we've had together. I love you.
Great.
Mm-hmm. So, what now? You gonna tell him the story or what?
Oh goodness. What childhood stories are you looking for? You got to be a bit more specific. What about Ecuador? I mean, that's where we technically grew up, was Ecuador. We moved there when we were super, super young. Well, you were super, super young. I was young.
I was a little kid. Ecuador was an amazing experience. I'll never forget it. The fresh fruit there. I mean, nobody can forget the fresh fruit.
That's
climbing
true.
on the trees and getting the mango.
Fresh mango. Nearly 60 feet away from the house
Yeah.
on our mango orchard.
The freshest fruits on earth.
Mm-hmm.
Ecuador has it. So
They do. And we have goats. So we have fresh
Goat milk.
Goat's milk in the morning. It's
dude,
great.
You're making me miss Ecuador. Yeah, basically it was just you and me hanging out with the kids, getting to know kids.
And the academy. We went to the academy that
Together.
Dad built
Yeah,
in 2009.
That was great, and I don't know if you remember, but every single time Gary would go, and they would call him like Dr. Gary Young.
Mm-hmm.
Every single time he got out of the car, all the kids would
Swarm
him, and he couldn't even move because they were all on top of him. But they loved him a lot.
They did.
Yeah, dude, the first graduation was amazing. I mean, we knew every single person in that class like really closely, and now look where we are. You're going towards your dreams. You made the YL podcast. You're married. You're happy. You're successful. Let's take a break, and let's talk about helichrysum. Jacob?
All right. So now that we've made it to the commercial break, we want to give away this 5 milliliter bottle of helichrysum. Helichrysum is really great for the skin, and it's great after an intense workout or playing on the field. And so if you'd like to have this little bottle of helichrysum right here, comment on this YouTube video, this one right here, episode 5. If you're listening from Spotify, you'll have to go over to YouTube and check this video out, which you should always do. But comment down below in the comment section, #helichrysum. That's it. And we will be choosing the winner next Tuesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time on our Instagram channel, The Wild Drop. So, good luck.
Woo! And welcome back. Jacob, you are an amazing podcaster. You are a world-renowned podcaster.
I don't know about that, but...
He is. He's a very humble guy. What were you doing before the podcast at Young Living?
There are a lot of different things that I was doing before the podcast.
I know, you're a really talented guy.
But where it all started, at least for me, Young Living wise, like, starting to work and stuff. Because I've been trying to work in each department at Young Living for 6 months to a year at a time. And where I first started was in IT, information technology, right? And
You're with Joe, right?
Yeah, Mr. Joe Walker.
Great guy.
And I was replacing all the ink cartridges in the printers throughout all of corporate, the old corporate building. And I was setting up people's computers, and I was setting up their desks and stuff. So I did that for a while, and I really enjoyed it. And then after that, I went to our call center, and I worked there for about 6 months. And the call center, I gained a lot more respect for people who work in customer service, and my whole attitude and perception of like how I called in and talked to people at any customer service completely changed too, because I realized that job is very taxing. It's very difficult, especially, if you're like on the phone with somebody who's screaming and yelling at you.
Actually, I do want to ask, what was the worst call you ever had?
Oh my.
The worst one. I know you have one.
It was my fourth call.
Your fourth call?
My fourth call.
His fourth call.
And this gentleman called in very upset because we had messed up his ER order. I said, "Hey, thanks for calling into Young Living. My name is Jacob. How can I help you today?" Right? Off the bat, he's like, "You should know my number by now," and just started screaming and yelling at us like, "Sorry, sir, I do not know you. I have not answered your call before." He started screaming and cussing and called me pretty much everything you can possibly imagine.
Jacob, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Anywho, so after the call center, I then started working in our research and development lab. R&D with Varun and Richard Carlson.
With the blends, right?
And Rex Kidman, yep. Ooh. And the first person that I started working with was Kyle Lorenzo, who's one of our scientists here. And he started teaching me about all the different instruments that we have. They're called instruments, not machines.
Instruments.
And they, we have different ones for different tests. We have ones that test for certain molecules, ones that test for if there's any adulteration or additives into it. We have one that uses light that refracts off different molecules and different structures and stuff. We have all kinds of different machines to do testing to make sure that when we receive oil, whether it's from our farms, partnered farms, or from other farms that want us to use our oils, that they are up to our quality. And if they're not, then we don't use them.
Yeah. 100% the best.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah. So after that and learning how to operate a few of the machines, then because I knew how to do the testing, and then we started to get into the science of how to make a blend. And with blends and with all the products that we have, every single one of our products is made for a purpose, right?
Yeah.
Purpose over profit. Dad always said that everything is made for a purpose and not for profit.
Yeah, he made a lot of products for Mom too.
Yeah. For all of us, a lot of the products that we have now are made because of you, because of me, because of Dad, and because of Mom. They're mostly made because of our family, which I think is really cool. And anywho, so when you go to make a blend, you have to find a purpose as to why you're making that blend, right? Otherwise, it's just, a blend.
Yeah.
There's no reasoning, there's no purpose, there's no soul behind it. And so when I was working on I was working on how to reformulate and remake blends that have already been made, right? Because you have to be very, very precise, right? You have to make sure that you're adding the oils in the correct form and order. Reason being is because the oils do what's called the dance. Dad would call it the dance.
The dance.
But what they do is they do what's called this chaotic dance inside the bottle. And you have all the different molecules and structures bouncing around on the inside of the glass. And it takes anywhere from 24 hours to 72 hours for those molecules to mesh together and to sit together. So within that time frame, the smell of the blend changes drastically. So from the first time you smell it to when it's actually finished is a completely different scent and smell.
Never knew that.
If you mix in the oils, so let's take Valor for example.
Okay.
If you mix the oils that make Valor backwards and then compare it to the blend that was made in the correct order, they're not the same. They're completely different because the dance is different too.
Wow.
Yeah.
Would never have known.
Yeah, it's crazy. It really is. And I thought that was really, really cool. And so when you're doing your measurements, you have to be really, really precise with the, we call it the pipette, right?
The what?
Pipette. So it's like a dropper, right? But it's a very, very precise dropper. So you can have it make a drop that is 0.000025 milligrams. You honestly can't even really see the drop, but it's that precise. And then the oils have what are called gravitational directionary pull, right? So GPD. And just like, there's gravity and it pulls to a certain amount, the oils have the exact same thing. So you have to make sure that there's a lot that goes into making a blend that not a lot of people know about.
I mean, I'm just learning all of this now.
There's a lot to it. And then, just making a blend is one thing, and then trying to get it approved and then making a label for it. And then, dude, it's a long process. So
the way that you're like telling me all of this, it seems like a lot of people don't really take into consideration the hard work that our scientists put into these oils.
And, a lot of people, when they first join Young Living, they're like, oh, wow, these oils are really expensive. Like, well, I could just go to Walmart and buy oils. Yeah, you could, but you're not getting the same quality, right?
Big difference.
So when we have new members come on, we take them down to the farm to show them everything, that takes part in making a oil. Right.
Just a single
and
bottle.
Then they're like, oh, well, yeah, the price now makes a whole lot of sense. It's a lot that goes into. So one thing that I also learned while I was in research and development is the amount of effort and time and paperwork that it takes to create a product. And so when you're done creating that blend, you have to file all different kinds of paperwork, right?
Okay.
You have to file the paperwork of the measurements, the paperwork of the time that you did it at, in the location, in the temperature, in the environment, in the bottle that you did, the equipment that you used to make that blend, right? So just to cut to the point, it takes anywhere from 2 to 4 years to make one product.
2 to 4 years.
2 to 4 years, usually. Sometimes we can do it within a year, right?
Okay.
But there's a lot of work, right?
Yeah, that's the way it works.
Sorry, going off like tangent and stuff.
No, it was great.
I wanted to share that.
We need to know these things.
Yeah.
We need to know. I didn't know anything about this.
So after research and development, I went into marketing, where I'm currently at right now.
Done a good job, by the way.
And the way that I got into marketing is in between the time that I was in IT and the call center, I moved out of the house. And I kind of wanted to try and do my own thing. And so I became a delivery driver for a cookie company called Chip.
I remember that.
And then I had my own detailing company, which I still do here now, but I don't have enough time to do it full time like I did before. I was creating websites for people. I was doing photography for Dodge and Ford here in Utah. I had a contract with them that I was taking photos for them year round. I was doing advertisements for them. I created my own Amazon store where I was selling like my own product and stuff. It wasn't my own product. I was just buying it from manufacturers and reselling it at a lower.
Very impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah. And so I had a little bit of like marketing expertise with that. Oh, and then I also I was in charge of creating people's Instagrams account and like uploading content and like strategies and stuff.
So you got them like followers and made it look clean and nice.
Yeah. Layout.
Can you do that with mine?
Yeah, I can do that with yours.
Sweet.
And so, I had a little bit of like knowledge when it came to some marketing.
Your experience just was like this and then just went like that.
Yeah. And so
Amazing.
Mom knew that I had some experience with making a website. And now with our new website out, right? Before the website was out, when we were working on it, she said, well, why don't you come sit in this meeting and look and see how we can improve the website. The first thought that went through my brain was we need to make this as user-friendly as possible, to the point where Mom could process an order. If she can process an order, anybody can process an order. Right?
Yeah.
So that was the first target that we had. And then the layout of the page and the color palette, where things got put and stuff. I worked on all of that.
It seemed like it was perfect because with the past experiences that you've had, it was right in your forte.
Yeah. Well, now after working on the website, Colby Olds, who's now our VP of marketing, he said, well, why don't you, kind of dive a bit more deeply into marketing? And I said, well, I don't really know where to go. And he's like, well, you worked on social media stuff. Why don't you look at our social media aspect and see where we can improve on that? So I did. I started looking at all of our social media. I started looking at YouTube, and I realized, oh, this is really good. We've got good marketing here. And I noticed that Young Living didn't have a podcast, or at least not one that I knew of.
Mm-hmm.
So when I brought the idea to our marketing team of, hey, we should start up a podcast because we can really share the stories and the information about Young Living in a fun and interactive way that consumers just take in like no other, and we can spread the word about Young Living in that way, and podcasting is such a huge market nowadays. They all said, well, that's great. We had a podcast before. And I was like, oh, really? Because I didn't know about it.
Me neither.
And so I went and started doing more research, and we did have a podcast, and it actually did fairly well. And I'm not sure why there was talk of continuing it or revamping it. And when we sat down and looked at this together, we decided to make agree on just starting a whole new podcast over and being fresh, because the old podcast had old information and it wasn't currently up to date. And because we hadn't uploaded anything in 3 years, it had kind of died out, right? Mm-hmm. And so we decided to just redo a podcast and start from fresh over. Long story short, it all came to this, right?
So how did you get in the place that you are? Like,
when we started working on getting this podcast set up, there was talk of, okay, who's going to be the host and who's going to talk? And I said, well, the host that was on the previous podcast did a pretty good job. Why don't we have her just transition over to this podcast, and I'll be more than happy to kind of help direct the podcast and where it goes. And they said, well, Jacob, members like to hear from you. And, they said that you have a good voice. A good talking voice.
Yeah, very good voice.
Thank you. Mm. And I said, well, yeah, I guess I could do it. I mean, I'll be honest, I didn't really want to do it because I knew how much work it was going to be. Mm-hmm. And I still was really enjoying my time in the lab. And so I wanted to make sure that I still had time to work on blends and creating new blends and stuff. And long story short, I'm the host.
You just decided to do it.
I decided to do it. We went to it, and within a month, we had everything set up and ready to go, and we're here now.
I mean, you've done a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And I've heard of
I forgot to mention
what.
This is the 5th episode, and we are on the top 150 chart in the United States for educational podcasts.
Wow.
We are number 128 for educational podcasts in the United States. So I thought that was pretty cool.
That's amazing. Yeah.
I think we're doing pretty good on that part.
I mean, it's only been a month, and
it's been 2-ish months.
I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
So you being in the lab and making blends, were you the one behind the blend Gary's Light?
I wasn't the one behind it, but I did work on it very, very closely.
And how was your experience with that? I know it's pretty emotional because
everyone has a different experience and connection to the oils.
Mm-hmm. How did you connect with it?
Gary's Light was the very first blend that I worked on that I guess really helped me connect after Dad passed. Mm-hmm. And Mom and I had started thinking about, well, what, because we always have a signature blend for convention. And we wanted, we had already come up with the name of, well, We Are One for the convention theme, but we didn't have a blend for it yet. And so we had a list of oils that are grounding, that kind of recenter you, right? And they're the ones that are in Gary's Light. So when I went into the lab to start working on it, Rex Kidman, who's our blendist, he said, well, Jacob, I feel like this one just seems to connect with you more than it does with me. So why don't you work on it? And so I did. We had a list of, the oils that we wanted to use, but we didn't know how much of each one that we wanted to use. And so I started tinkering around with it. And while I was working on the blend, the room that I was in just felt different. There was just a feeling of empowerment and light, and I don't know, just something felt unique about making that blend. And I want to feel like, Dad was in the room helping me work on that blend because he knew that it was special to me because it was the first blend that I had made that we actually released to our members, right? And so to me, Gary's Light is a grounding and reconnecting oil for me. And, for us, Dad was everything, and we did everything with Dad, right? And
he's the reason why we want to do what we want to do
what
in the
we're
future.
doing right now.
Yeah.
And I know you and I both struggled after Dad passed of like, what do we do? And it was hard.
It's hard times.
And I feel like Gary's Light was just kind of that thing, I guess. I don't know what to say.
Like a beacon of light.
Yeah, a beacon of light, just kind of to fill in that void, to help reconnect. And so that's my experience and how I feel with that oil and why I have it on the table over there, because it's very special and important to me. And I use it every single day. I diffuse it every single day.
Yeah, it's great. You also have highest potential too.
Yep, highest potential. And lavender, my favorite oil.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, do they know why you like lavender?
I don't know. Lavender is my favorite oil because while Mom was still pregnant with me, I was kind of a squirmy kid inside my mom's belly. And so lavender is a very soothing, very calming essential oil. And so he used essential oils. He used lavender to kind of help calm me down. And even, after I was born, he would rub lavender on the bottom of my feet and diffuse it to help me fall asleep at night. And it's just, it's an oil that I've been connected to even before birth. And so that's why it's my favorite oil, is because it not really triggers, but it brings back, it just brings back all the memories,
Yeah.
They're very vivid when using that oil. So talking about, one of my favorite oils and working on Gary's Light, going back to our giveaway item, which is Helichrysum. By the way, make sure to comment down below on this YouTube video, episode 5, hashtag Helichrysum to enter for the giveaway for maybe winning, a possible chance to win this bottle of oil here. Why don't you share why this is your favorite oil, pretty boy?
Oh, pretty boy. Well, I love all the products. They're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't live without any of them. But this little guy right here, he helped me a long time ago. I was down in Ecuador.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a long story, so long story short, it helped me go through a traumatic experience, and this oil got me through it. And
that experience happened to involve his skin, which
Yes.
it helped with immensely. It's both helped our skin
Yes.
immensely. And so we'll have to share that in a following episode.
But,
we can't give you all the information. Yeah.
look at this. This is because of Helichrysum.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Anyway, yeah. And then I love this oil. It's great. And I'll say this. Nobody should go anywhere
Without
travel.
Helichrysum.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's true.
Yeah, it's the best.
We have our little first aid kit, which is, a bag of oils, and Helichrysum is in there.
It's always in there,
Always.
yeah.
Helichrysum, kohlsol, frankincense, panoe, peppermint. Can't go wrong with peppermint. And lavender, of course.
So yeah, Helichrysum is my favorite oil / product, if that's even considered a product. But
It is. They're all products.
yeah, you would know. You smart boy. So I'm gonna make an assumption that Zing is your favorite product.
It is my favorite product. I really do enjoy it. And speak, I think we're both out, right? We're both out?
Oh, yeah, we're both out.
We need a refill.
Yeah, we do.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It is my favorite product. It really is.
The sound of Zing. Mm.
And Joseph and I are pretty much the reason why Zing
Dude.
exists.
Yeah, it's
So,
amazing though. It's
Back in middle school, around the same time, Joseph was discovering the amazing flavor of root beer. And some root beers out there have a lot of sugar.
I love root beer.
And they have a lot of extra carbonation. And then while you were finding the amazing flavor of root beer in some sodas, I was
Yes.
finding some amazing sodas that had way too much caffeine for a person my age at the time. So when Dad both found out that I was drinking one thing, he was drinking the other thing, he's like, okay, this is ridiculous. I'm just going to make something that's actually healthy and a healthy alternative for you.
Mm-hmm.
And so Zing came to be. And he started off with the base of wolfberry, Ningxia Red. Ningxia Red was the base, and then he added some lemon and some black pepper to kind of, give it that nice taste to it.
Don't forget lime.
Yeah, lime. Mm-hmm. And I love carbonation. It's like, my biggest weakness. So we added a little bit of carbonation, and then we also need a little bit of boost throughout the day. So there is natural caffeine in here. There's
really?
No additive caffeine. And then sometimes there's energy drinks that have too much caffeine in them, and so you can get like heart palpitations. And then there's sugar. There's a crazy amount of sugar. So this has natural sugars, natural caffeine, which comes from a green tea leaf extract, right? And I can't remember how much sugar is in here. 3.2 grams of sugar. And it's all natural sugar. Natural sugar from the wolfberry. And I think that's the only sugar that's really in there is from the wolfberry. And so, yeah.
It's good. Yeah, take a sip, man. You've been working real hard. Yeah, this is good. We don't joke around here.
No.
Wow. I'm going to take another sip.
So Zing is my favorite product. It's my most used product.
Thank you, Dad.
So, yes, thank you, Dad. Seriously. Yeah. So we've talked about me, and everyone's kind of gone to know me for those who don't already know me. But everyone's always asking where you're at. You are a busy guy. You're still in school, and you're not around at the office all the time because of you being in school. You're also very devoted to soccer.
I'm a pretty active guy.
You are a very active guy.
Love to go to the gym, too.
Yes.
Love to pipe iron for the ladies.
He's a buff man. And so...
Nice guy.
Let's share what you're doing.
What am I up to? It's a good question.
Yeah.
I'm always on the run. Well, I would say, obviously, one, I am very involved with the foundation.
Yep, you are an ambassador for the foundation, and you just got back from a trip.
I did
to the Navajo Nation.
I did. Yes, this is a book I got. I don't know how to say it.
Show the camera.
Here, sorry. Yes, that word is in Navajo. I can't pronounce it, but it means a walk in beauty. And basically, this book is about children who interviewed or asked their grandparents questions about the culture and about the lifestyle of Navajos. So it's really cool, and each kid has a different story. It's just a really great way to understand the Navajo culture. Mm-hmm. And when you buy this, the money goes to the foundation to help those people.
To the D. Gary Young Living Foundation.
And
so
it's
all the proceeds for this book go directly into the foundation.
Thank you.
Which then goes into the Navajo tribe fund that we have there. And while Joseph was down there on his trip, what would you do on your trip?
Well, it was a very emotional experience, and I learned a lot, not only about myself but about helping people. Mm-hmm. And I've been to a decent amount of service trips in the past, but this one meant a lot because I just really dove into the work.
Yeah.
And what we had to do is most of the houses didn't have electricity. Mm-hmm. And so most of these people did not have their refrigerators running. They couldn't have light for their kids to do their homework. Like, school was a really hard thing for them because it goes dark and they have no way to access any light. And so what we did is we installed lights in the house, and then the only way we could use the source of light and power was a solar panel. Yeah. So we installed a solar panel.
The power of the sun.
The power of the sun. So we installed the solar panel on the roof, and then we used wires that connected to a battery, which basically the solar panel taking in the energy of the sun,
the solar
charged the battery,
were recharging the batteries.
Yeah, and the battery would, if you flip the switch, the lights would come on. The emotional part was hearing the people talk about what they've gone through, and how just the simple act of putting a solar panel on the lights in the house has done them to life. I remember this one house we did. We finished up setting the light, and this grandma just was so happy, just big smile. and she was talking in Navajo, and the language is beautiful, so unique, so different. And we had a guide there, a translator, and he was telling us that this lady had not had light in her house, in her little apartment trailer, for 30 years.
Holy cow.
30 years. I mean,
Wow.
that's I had a hard time trying to hold back the tears, because not only did we set up light for her to see, but now she can use, electricity for the fridge, so then the food is not spoiled, it's not bad, and then the kids are able to do their homework at night.
Mm-hmm.
They're able to see, because those people down there, once it goes dark, they go to bed.
Yeah.
And so many things are like cut out of their life because of light.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's so many doors open because now they have light. They have electricity. And it was just really emotional, really heart-touching. And I got to shake the hands of the mothers and the grandparents,
Mm-hmm.
and we also gave toys and
Yeah.
books to the kids, and it was just really great. And it changed me, because I had, well, it made me think about Dad. It made me think about all the people that he helped and the lives that he changed, not only us, but everybody. And he was such a kind guy, nice guy. He did everything for everybody.
Dad was
Makes
just
you wanna
one-
cry.
Yeah, Dad was just one of those people where he wanted to help in any way that he could.
It's just serving people makes you happy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever heard someone say that it made them sad when they help somebody. It brings them this joy, this happiness.
No.
And obviously, yes, there's this emotional tearjerker in the back of your mind, but I had a really hard time trying to hold back the tears, because I was trying to get leaky eye syndrome.
Yeah.
And so the only thing I could do was just get the emergency kit, the oil kit, and just put a bunch of oils on me to smell different things, just to take my mind off of it.
Yeah.
But it was a very emotional.
So with
Trip.
a foundation, are you doing anything else, Young Living or non-Young Living related? And like I said, you're devoted to soccer. You're a soccer king. Don't you play on like 3 different teams right now?
2 different teams.
And you're a forward striker. Where are they called?
Yes, but the main position that I've been at is right wing, because I can run really fast.
You can run really fast.
You know.
Yeah, that's why we don't play tag.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah, and
And
then
so soccer and foundation is what you're currently focused on right now.
I'm also very involved with Young Living. I'm getting more involved with
Yeah,
Young Living.
yeah.
And obviously, Mom is doing a fantastic job. By the way, Mary, Mom, Reina, pequeñita, mamita linda, if you do see this, we love you.
We do. She
And,
works very hard.
Yeah, she
everything-
has to deal with me a lot.
Yeah, I feel like that's
I'm a lot of
enough-
stress.
That's enough work for her.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm so much stress. Every single time I come home, she's like, "Hi, Joseph. What have you been up to?"
No, but we really appreciate Mom.
Mom has done
'Cause
everything for
everything
us.
that we have, everything that we're doing is because of her.
She's such a great influence,
And
too.
everything that she
She's
is
taught
doing
me
is
so
because
much.
of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What do you want to do when you grow up? Or
What?
you're already grown up, but
I'm still growing up.
yeah.
We never stop growing up, you know.
You're right. You're right.
I have a lot more departments to go through, as well as finish my master's, which I'm currently working on right now. I know I recently re-enrolled in school. I felt like it was an important thing to do.
Hey.
I took a really long hiatus from school, like a year-long hiatus. From
Well, sometimes you need it.
sometimes
You got married. You have Kate. By the way, Kate
That's
is an
true.
amazing wife.
She is.
Amazing wife. And she has literally changed you, and she has literally paved a way for you. And
Changed me, like hopefully for the better, right?
No, obviously for the better is great. Everybody loves Kate, and you guys are perfect together, and you guys are the cutest couple ever.
And Kate and I are releasing our own product line in September.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
We finished. We did some filming for it yesterday, and
Oh.
we're doing some more filming for it today. It's coming out in September.
Wow.
So-
I'm very happy. You know, that reminds me. At convention, you guys like duetting. You know, the duets.
The harmony.
Yeah. The harmony. That was great. That was great. I think everybody that watched it was like, ooh la la.
I thought that was a really fun part too.
Oh,
I thought
yeah.
it was great.
I was a little bit jealous. I was like, where's my Kate?
Yeah.
Where's my Kate? Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You're more than welcome.
been
Thanks
an
for coming
honor.
on to the show.
Yeah, I feel like
I think
was
you'll be a great host.
Yeah, I thought
When-
it was a fantastic
You
host.
just got to practice the lines. A few
Practice
times.
the lines. I think my energy and everything is like right there, perfect, spot on.
Your presentation, I think, is pretty good too.
Also,
Yeah.
I have good looks. That adds a lot to it.
that does.
Great smile.
add to it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Joseph,
Yeah.
thanks for coming on here.
Thanks,
Appreciate
man.
it, buddy.
I appreciate it.
Fist bump. And don't forget to oil up Wild Family. This is Jacob Young with the Wild Drop, dropping out. Take care.
Just like that. Cheers. Dang, this is good.